All right, students, welcome back. We are about halfway through our day here at the Digital College Fair, the third annual Digital College Fair. We've had some great presenters up so far. For the next about 15 minutes or so, we're going to go through a presentation designed for Primavera students that's all based on financial aid and give you guys a little bit more information on FAFSA, some types of grants, stuff that you might be eligible for, so that you know going into the college season when you're trying to apply for colleges, what the best steps are to take as far as your financial aid goes. Now again, I want to remind you guys, all the information here. If you have any questions, contact your guidance counselors. Now at the beginning of the day, we gave you all of that information for which guidance counselor you are tied to. So you want to make sure you contact that guidance counselor. We'll put that information back up at the end of the day today so you know who to contact regarding any of this financial aid information. So with that, we will go straight into the financial aid questions or the financial aid presentation. Now make sure if you have questions, ask them through our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and make sure you send your snaps to Snapchat. Our social media manager, Nicole, is all over that right now, and she is making sure that all of those questions get directly to us and the presenters. So here we go. So going through Financial Aid 101, how to get you some college success, a guide to your college success, we want to make sure that you guys know what FAFSA is first and foremost. Now FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Now the application will be free. There is a website, so you're obviously going to want to go to FAFSA, FAFSA.ed.gov. So what this will do is it will determine your eligibility for grants, scholarships, and student loan opportunities that you have available to you. So once you go to this website, you'll be able to fill out your application. Some of the stuff that we'll talk about today is your application and your personal PIN that you will get through the FAFSA website, how to choose your school, what types of federal aid you have available to you, scholarship opportunities, and then maintaining your awards, which is more important than pretty much anything else. It's great to get it, but you want to make sure you maintain it so you can get it on a repeat basis. So the online application for FAFSA used to be January 1st. It's been moved up 3 months, so now online applications for FAFSA started October 1st of this year. The federal deadline is June 30th of the school year that you're applying for. So for example, if you submit an application now for the 2017-2018 school year, your deadline will be June 30th of next year, which is going to be 2017. Now the priority deadline can vary, so you want to check with your college of interest. And we brought this up a few presentations ago with U of A. Some of the FAFSA money and award money can be done on a first come, first served basis. So you want to make sure that you're getting this stuff submitted as soon as possible. Again, it opened October 1st. There's nothing stopping you guys from going in this weekend and filling out your FAFSA and getting all of that information done over the weekend so that you have that place held for you already. You need to be doing the FAFSA every single year that you would be wanting continued financial aid. And although the word federal is in the title of the application, it is actually used at the federal, state, and university levels to determine if or how much money you are eligible to receive. So it's not just at the federal level, it's all three levels all the way down to the university. So this will give you a little bit of an example of what the time frame looks like. Now obviously, going into this past year, the 2016-17 school year for colleges, the deadline to submit would have been January 1st, 2016. So you want to, again, with this opening October 1st, you'll see in the second row there, July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018, that school year that's coming up right now, the deadline and when you can submit that is anytime between October 1st up to June 30th. Now, when you are filling out the FAFSA, you need to include your income tax for your family, which means you have to have that tax information available to you. This year, going into the 2017-2018 school year, that information will be pulled from your 2015 income taxes. So it won't ask for the most recent year, 2016, which sometimes you have to guess or approximate what the totals would be. You'll be using your 2015 income tax return for FAFSA forms that are filled out between October 1st and June 30th of this year. So as far as the FAFSA application goes, what are the things that you're going to need? Well, you're going to need tax information, like I said, from 2 years prior. So 2015's tax returns, if you're applying in 2017, and that's the year that you're going to be going to college. You also need the asset information as well as your personal PIN, and then students and parents also get PINs. So your parent will have a PIN for your account as well as you. So the PIN is an electronic signature that's usually 4 digits. So you will need this code to complete and submit your FAFSA. So in most cases, you and a parent or guardian will need to request PIN numbers. So please note that you will need the same numbers for future applications, so keep the information somewhere safe. Your PIN number shouldn't change over the course of your time in college. If you're reapplying for FAFSA every single year, you'll use the same PIN number for your senior year as you did for your freshman year. So make sure you keep that information safe and don't lose it. The link to the website here is up on the screen right now, and this is where you'll get your FAFSA personal PIN. So make sure, I'll give you a couple moments to copy that website down and make sure you have that information. Like I said, these presentations will be posted to our website, most likely in a blog post where you will be able to access them, and then you'll be able to get this information. So if you want to copy it later, you'll be able to do that, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and write that information down right now. So, choosing your school. Now, your school code is a unique code that connects the schools that you're thinking about with your FAFSA application. So you want to make sure when you're applying for admission, some of the colleges require you to be admitted first in order to receive or see your awards. But when you're looking at schools, you want to make sure you copy down the correct code for those schools when submitting your FAFSA. You don't want to be looking at an Arizona State or University of Arizona and enter the code incorrectly for University of Alabama that you weren't even thinking about, and now all of a sudden you don't have the information that you need for the 2 schools that you were really looking at. So make sure you are getting those school codes and they are correct. So here are a couple common FAFSA questions that you might have and a couple of answers for you. The first one, how do I get my FAFSA results to the schools that I've chosen? So the answer to this is, once you submit your FAFSA form, you've completed all the steps, the schools that you've chosen through those school codes will automatically receive your results. So the information is then used by the schools to determine what types of aid you are, what types of aid are available to you and what amounts you are eligible for through FAFSA. So again, you want to make sure you get the correct school codes, because once you submit the FAFSA, those schools get this information right away. So again, if you're putting down the incorrect PIN numbers or the incorrect numbers for the schools are going to get your information and you might not even want to attend there. So make sure you get those codes right, and don't worry, as soon as you submit it, those schools will get this information for you. Second question, should I just list one school on my FAFSA application? Now, with College Crossing, the presentation we had right before this, and Trey mentioned, typically students want to have a list of 5 to 10 schools that they're thinking about attending. So with the FAFSA application, again, it's very similar. You want to make sure you add any school that you're considering attending on your FAFSA application. Not just 1, not just 2, any school that you think you have a chance at getting into or you want to attend, you want to put that on your FAFSA application. Should you decide to go there, listing them early holds your place in line for some of that first come, first serve financial aid that might be available. So you don't want to wait until the last minute and then decide, okay, I want to go to this school, because now your place in line is going to be a lot further back than if you just done it in the first place. So make sure, don't just list one school on your FAFSA application. Your FAFSA application is there so you can put multiple schools down. So any school you're considering, make sure you put that on there. Now, what if I haven't completed my college applications yet? Can I still fill out my FAFSA form? Yes, absolutely. You can fill out FAFSA for every college that you were thinking about attending. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've been accepted or even applied to some of those schools. All that matters is that you are considering those schools and you would potentially attend them. So submitting FAFSA for those schools will come and give you that placeholder, like I said previously, for that first come, first served financial aid for those institutions. Now, should you decide at a later date, you know what, I'm not considering this school anymore, I'm not going to attend there, okay, you can always go in and edit your form and pull those schools that you're not interested in attending off. So in addition to the FAFSA, which we've covered, there are other types of federal aid that are available. You have grants, and the most common here are Pell Grants. Now, the Pell Grant is a federal grant but it is not a student loan, so it does not need to be repaid. It is awarded to undergraduate students who are pursuing their first four-year degree, and money awarded depends on multiple criteria: financial need, cost of school you're attending, full-time or part-time, and multiple other steps in there. So make sure, if you are interested in learning more about Pell Grants, definitely check those out online. Talk to one of the guidance counselors here at Primavera, the guidance counselor that you are assigned to, and make sure you ask them, what do I need to do as far as these Pell Grants go in order to get one of them? You also have student loans available to you. There's some different parameters for each of the student loans. You have some private loans that are also available. There's first-time borrowers. There's a website here in the middle, studentloans.gov. Lots of information there if you're interested in learning more about student loans. But definitely, again, if you're interested in learning more about all of this stuff, your guidance counselor is the person to talk to. So make sure you contact them with the options available to you for financial aid. There are also work-study programs available. So part-time work for students gives you some on-campus options. Some of it helps pay for education expenses. So if you are interested in a college, definitely call them and ask, what type of work-study options do you have available for incoming freshmen? Would I be able to work part-time on campus to help pay for the cost of college? Talk to them. They will be able to answer all of those questions for you. And again, we've heard from some of the other presenters so far, ASU, U of A, GCU. All of those schools will have institutional scholarships available. Now, these are school-specific scholarships. These aren't the scholarships that you can get that will be good at every single school you might be interested in attending. These are the ones specific to those schools that you are looking for. Now, scholarships databases are sometimes available where you can see these scholarships, but you might have to go ahead and complete the application for that school in order to apply for them. So the other benefit, though, is some of these scholarships are also auto-considered through your college application and your FAFSA form. So once the school gets your FAFSA information, you automatically could be considered for institutional scholarships at that university or college. But again, make sure you talk to them when you call, when you visit, when you talk to a guidance counselor on campus at the college you're interested in attending. Make sure you ask them what type of institutional scholarships they have available for you. Okay, now there are some websites listed up here for other scholarships. This is a good place to start, but this is not an exhaustive list, so make sure you are researching every possible avenue. Guys, it's very important. Thousands and thousands of dollars of scholarship money go unclaimed every single year just because some people can't find them or don't know about them. Exhaustive searching is the way you can get as many scholarships as possible to help fund your education. So www.azfoundation.org, zinch.com, fastweb.com, collegeboard.com. Searching for these scholarships will help you. You might find some that other people just didn't know about and nobody else has applied for. So you're the only applicant for it. But you're not going to be able to do that if you aren't searching for them. So like I said, this is not an exhaustive list. There are multiple other sites out there where you can find scholarships to help pay your way through college. So definitely make sure you save this information and use it at a later date, but that shouldn't stop you from pursuing a search on your own to try and find other avenues to find scholarships that might be available to you. Okay. Now the biggest thing here is getting a scholarship is great, but maintaining that scholarship is just as important. It's one thing to get it. Obviously, you've got it for the first year. You want to keep it for all 4 years, however long you're going to be at school for. Okay, so your full-time status at a university is going to be 12 plus credits. Okay, you have to have satisfactory academic progress. The typical requirements, and understand too, this is not specific for every single scholarship out there. This is a general typical requirement that is true for a lot of scholarship cases, but might not be true for others. So again, if you do get that scholarship, you want to make sure you know ahead of time what the requirements are for you to keep that scholarship. Now, typically, you have to have a 2.0 GPA or above. You have to be completing 70% of your classes. Okay, you have to have these certain criteria for each scholarship that you receive to make sure you are still good for it the following year. So again, once you get that scholarship, research everything about it so you know exactly what you need to be doing on your end to make sure that you can keep that scholarship for the length of your college career. Okay, now if you do not meet, some schools will give you a semester to say, hey, you fell behind, you've got a semester to pick it back up and get to the requirements you need, otherwise the scholarship will get pulled, or some will disqualify you immediately because you haven't met the requirements over the course of a year for that scholarship. So again, make sure you research the scholarships you get so you know exactly what you need to do to keep it. Okay, other helpful hints here, the Financial Aid Toolkit website is one awesome, gigantic resource that anyone can use to get more info on financial aid. So you're going to go to financialaidtoolkit.ed.gov /TK/resources. So although it doesn't list specific scholarships that are available, it does answer any questions that you may have about the different types of financial aid that are available. FAFSA, loan repayments, general tips on how you prepare for college, lots of other stuff on there. Okay, so this is what the website looks like. There's a snapshot of it at the bottom, but that is definitely a great site for you to be able to check out if you are looking for more of that information on financial aid. And honestly, guys, all of you should be looking for as much information on financial aid going into college as you can possibly get. Okay, last helpful hints here, make sure you are seeking your degree. You're not just floating through college. Okay, I don't know what I want to do. I might want to do this. You know exactly what your plan is, and you are actively going after that degree that you want. Check your school email account often. Don't assume all those emails are getting forwarded to you at a different email address that you hopefully set up to forward everything. Some of those might not work, so you want to make sure you're checking your school email account often. Okay? And create and monitor a to-do list. So you want to create the to-do list on stuff that you have to do for all of these college things, whether it's an application, whether it's an essay, whether it's financial aid stuff. You want to have a to-do list for each of them, but you've got to make sure that you're tracking that to-do list, crossing off the things that you're completing so you know what you still have to do as far as that to-do list goes. Okay, some additional paperwork is required for some of these scholarships, so make sure, this is the safest way to make sure you get everything in, you have those to-do lists and you're actually keeping on top of them. If you guys do all of this stuff, it'll definitely help you on your way to success. But again, make sure you reach out to your guidance counselor here at Primavera, as well as the guidance counselors at schools you are interested in attending, so they can talk you through some of this stuff in a little bit more depth than we've been able to cover here for the last 15 minutes. So I want to again, thank you guys for tuning in for the last 10, 15 minutes or so. Hopefully we were able to give you a lot of financial aid information. Okay, again, if you have those questions, ask your guidance counselor, make sure you talk to them. We are definitely looking forward to our next couple presenters. We've got NAU and Gateway Community College. Greg Marin with NAU is going to be back here. He was here 2 years ago. He'll give you all the ins and outs of that great school up in Flagstaff where it's nice and cool right now. And then we've got Gateway Community College following them up. Again, ask your questions through all of our social media apps, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've got a couple posts up on Instagram, so you can go ahead and comment your questions directly on those. You can go ahead and send us a direct message on Facebook or Twitter, or you can send us a Snapchat, and we'll be able to relay that information straight to our presenters. But we'll be back in about 10 minutes with NAU. Thanks.